What if they both mulligan to 0? And they just play... They play the most honest game of Magic possible.
Totally top deck Magic, right? We got a lot of Team Kaitlin going on here. I mean, she's got to be the underdog here, right?
Yeah.
Understandably. All right, so we've got Gerry's list. If Kaitlin's is identical to Todd's, which we believe is the case, we've got Kaitlin's list as well.
Some people are calling this the power couple of Magic. I love it.
It's like the Kurt and Courtney, you know, kind of thing.
We're gonna have a bunch of friendly fun.
People are like, who's Kurt and Courtney? All right, it's the Brad and Angelina. There you go. That may be a bit more acceptable one since neither of them are dead.
It's a bit of an obscure reference.
Yeah. All right, so leech on. I'm sorry, imp.
You can do this.
Future leech.
You can do this. I promise.
Right. So yeah, the imp there on turn 1 for Gerry.
Can't see Kaitlin's hand very well. She's definitely hiding it. It's a little dredge of a Gargori thug. Discard Paradise. Discard both of these guys. Faithless Looting.
So the dredge deck is doing what it does. Hits 2 Narcomoebas and a 3rd Thug.
I'm going to dredge that as well. 4. Okay.
Faithless Looting and dredge is just sick.
It's real good.
It's
just
filthy.
having additional careful studies is just really powerful. Imp's going to get in for 2 because it has Threshold. And he put 2 Narcomoebas into play as well, so he's got 2 more lootings in his graveyard. Not the best dredge suite. He only has 3 Golgari Thugs instead of, you know, something like a Golgari Grave Troll or the Stinkweed Imp. But he does have a Cabal Therapy in his graveyard that Gerry's going to have to consider using because with the way this board's set up right now, he can't really afford a Hypergenesis to resolve to have some giant monster in play. But what's tough here for Gerry is that Kaitlin has a bunch of different ways to go about doing it because he can't name Hypergenesis, so he has to pick which Cascade spell it's going to be, or he has to name Show and Tell.
Yeah, so what did he name? Gristlebrand.
He named Gristle Daddy. Gristlebrand.
We saw just about every other giant guy in Kaitlin's deck. We saw Emrakul, we saw Progenitus, we saw Maelstrom Wanderer.
Kaitlin drew the 3rd land.
And so she has Violent Outburst.
She has Violent Outburst.
Kaitlin's getting violent here. Some ultra violence versus Gerry here.
And we're going to have a Violent Outburst with 2 giant jerks coming into play. So after Kaitlin gets her dual lands here, Gerry's in some serious trouble right now.
Yeah.
His hand was not very good. He doesn't have a good like a card like Breakthrough in his hand, and he has his worst dredgers as well. The
weakest dredgers, right? Is his hand just
it's just
City of Brass? That's what I thought. Okay, 1, 2, 3. A little bit of the old ultra violence. Oh, that's not what she's doing. I thought she was gonna play Violent Outburst.
She's just gonna play
forgot she had the Shardless Agent. Yeah, that's what it's called. So
come on, slow rolling.
Hoping to find a Hypergenesis. Cross your fingers. Maybe she'll hit a Hypergenesis off of this Cascade. Wow. These Hypergenesis like to hide.
Well, they only play 2.
That's true.
So, there's not a lot for them to hit.
Hypergenesis.
Gerry's going to be able to put his City Brass into play, which could be a thing. It could be helpful.
Very thoroughly.
Yeah, that was a thorough shuffle of those Cascade spells before, he just gets lit up by Emrakul and
Emrakul, Progenitus. So she did not have Maelstrom Wanderer. It's like
I may bury the hatchet after he takes his gigantic beating from his girlfriend. I think I might let it go, just because this is too good.
This is worth it.
Yeah.
Your grudge expired, which was set to expire in 2015.
Well, look, if he wouldn't have designed a Delver deck that I could not possibly beat, then this would have never happened. So this is just karmic justice, just under the limelight, getting destroyed by his girlfriend. I mean, go Gerry.
Kaitlin takes the first game versus Gerry Thompson.
In comical fashion. Just a one-sided beating.
She's just like, hey, this guy, can you deal with that? Okay, how about this too?
Now,
What's that, City of Brass? Well then I'll play Progenitus.
Looking at Gerry's sideboard, he's got 2 Chain of Vapors, which could be useful. He also has another Dread Return if he chooses to board into some giant, because all his bullets are in his sideboard. He's got Blazing Archon, which I don't think Kaitlin can beat looking at her deck list, actually.
Terastodon's about the only way.
We can't, that doesn't kill creatures.
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Blazing Archon's actually just the end boss against Kaitlin. Gerry only has one of those, so he obviously has to dredge into it, that sort of thing. He also has a Flare of the Hate Brown that he can bring in. But, yeah, I think Gerry's plan outside of just doing his normal thing, which is dredging and Cabal Therapying and that sort of thing, is to just get a Blazing Archon into play, and then Kaitlin won't be able to do anything. She can't attack, and that's how she needs to win.
Caitlin's got 4 Leyline of the Void. I assume that they might come in against Dredge.
Okay.
You think that might maybe come in against Dredge? Leyline of the
This
Void.
is going to be so good. She has a Leyline of the Void in her board, too?
Times 4.
Ooh, so dirty.
She could be like, I also don't feel like getting Cabal Therapied, so I'll play Leyline of Sanctity too.
And then she also has some Dismembers, which aren't going to be useful. Terastodon, which isn't going to do too much. And an Ingot's Chua, which isn't so good. I think we might see Kaitlin Lindburg move over to 4-0. And then we'll see who is really the power in the power couple.
Yeah. I think we'll see. I think we might have just seen it in game 1 right there.
It was pretty one-sided.
I mean, when all Gerry can muster is a City of Brass. I mean, she let him put it into play for free, and he still couldn't beat her.
I know.
I mean, come on. She's like, you can just play a land during my turn.
Go ahead. I don't care.
Play a land that adds any color, even.
Play every land in your deck. Just pick up your deck, put all your lands into play. See if you can kill me. Go ahead. I love you, honey. Gerry, look at his face. He knows what's coming. It's setting in. It's coming to realization right now. He's shuffling his deck knowing she has 4 Leyline of the Voids, in addition to a game plan I really can't beat. It's just all coming to materialization.
I gotta say publicly here, public thanks to Kaitlin Lindburg for making this possible, because I know she didn't want to be on camera.
Yep.
So it's awesome that she agreed to do this for us, because this is great.
I agree.
Thank you, Kaitlin.
I think we should bring her in after she decimates him this game. Bring her to the booth. Let her.
They both should come into the booth and talk about.
Maybe argue
interview each other. Yeah. Well, we got Caitlin's list, which is Todd's list. I'm pretty sure. I mean, we can compare them.
Like the exact same. Kaitlin has a 4th Dismember where Todd has 1 Ingot Chewer. That's it. Gerry's going to start the show off with a little faithless looting
off of a gemstone mine. And there goes a Grave Troll and a Thug.
So an ideal start for Gerry this game. We can see what Kaitlin can do. Oh, no, she's sacking on turn 1. Now, there's not a lot of turn 1 plays in this deck because it's Hypergenesis.
So unless she hits a Cascade spell on turn 1, all she needs is 2 Spirit Guides.
All she needs is 2 Spirit Guides.
And a Cascade spell.
A Cascade spell or a Show and Tell. I'm interested. I'm interested.
It's getting exciting. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. What's that? You drew a hand that did that?
Yeah, when our show director was just goldfishing with Kaitlin's deck, he did have a turn 1 Hypergenesis hand, and we saw Todd.
Todd did it too.
Yeah, Todd did it as well.
At the end of his opponent's turn, yeah.
There's not much reason to sacrifice on turn 1 unless you have it. So... Come on, Kaitlin. Look.
Gerry's probably saying the same thing, like...
Look at Gerry's look. Look at Gerry's look. You wouldn't. You couldn't. You couldn't do it to me. You love me too much.
Here's the dredge off of the Grave Troll. Gets a Narcomoeba. She's like laughing, so I don't know. Like
Maybe she just fetched just to scare him.
That would even be
just
better.
Like, yeah, just turn 1, fetch. Your turn.
Lion's Eye Diamond, Cephalid Coliseum from Gerry.
I mean, Gerry has like his actual nut draw of this game. Like Lion's Eye Diamond's going to discard everything, flashback Faithless Looting, and he can Cephalid Coliseum this game. So he actually has the best draw possible for his deck, provided that he dredges even remotely well.
So that's what's happening. Uses the Lion Die Diamond, sacrifices, discards his hand, flashes back Faithless Looting, dredge.
Dredge. And now he's going to dredge 3 more times with Cephala Coliseum. So he's going to get through, like,
is that the Blazing Archon?
That's the Blazing Archon, and he has
the Dread Return.
Yeah, he has the 2 more Narcomoebas, he has a Dread Return, and some number of bridges, and also Cabal Therapies. So unless Kaitlin, and I don't even think there's anything Kaitlin can do about this from what we saw on her deck list. Once Archon's in play, she can't attack. So
this is turn 2 for Gerry.
I mean, she does have Force of Will in her deck, but I mean, Gerry can just therapy first to take care of that. So
which is exactly what he's
going to do.
Theoretically doing here. So he says he looks like he sacrifices an Narcomoeba, Cabal Therapy, naming something. Okay, so
what's she trying to do?
Did she not have an instant speed? So he did name Force. There's Spirit Guide.
So she had a turn 2.
Yeah, she didn't have
turn 2 Hypergenesis.
She didn't have the turn 1. Okay, but now I think another Flashback Therapy will take care of the Gristlebrand.
Yeah, what he's going to do is he's just going to probably name the threats that Kaitlin has.
Well, look, he's just going to get the Blazing Archon into play. Now, Progenitus is nothing if it can't attack.
Yeah.
So he just needed to get rid of Gristlebrand so she couldn't draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
She knows.
She knows she's beat. Yeah. If he gets Blazing Archon in play, there's nothing. Oh, there's nothing he could. There's nothing she could do.
What were you pointing at?
I was pointing at Jerry's little sly smile when he's like, "Oh, how's that Blazing Archon taste, huh? Huh?
All right, game 3. I love it. Now, Gerry definitely had the nut draw there. He had everything.
That was actual just turn 2, stone cold perfect hand. Let's dredge. That was like dredge 30 on turn 2. You can read that one.
I'll leave it for people that paying attention to Twitter.
Okay. But as they're shuffling up for game 3, Kaitlin's gonna be on to play this game, and she still has the ability to A, Leyline of the Void him, or B, just go off on turn 1 or turn 2. Right. That's what the deck is designed to do. So
right.
I feel like Gerry dodged a little bit of a bullet that game. Got a little lucky. And Kaitlin's gonna finish him off. She was playing possum.
You guys watching right now might want to remember this match because there may be a trivia question that references it later.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah,
a trivia question win anything?
It could win up to 6 months of premium or a Gen Con badge.
Okay. I could dig that. I can do that. I'll try to remember.
You try to remember.
Can't promise anything, of course, but...
No, I mean, there might not be a trivia question about
those things could happen.
This Hypergenesis deck looks super fun.
Yeah, it's freaky fun.
Yeah.
It is. It's just freaky. It's fantastically fun.
There's something like odd about it. It's like you can probably identify with this. You're living your life and you're scraping by and you're like, I barely have enough money to really do too much. I don't really make much money. And then suddenly, like, win the lottery and you have all this money. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all this money? It's the same thing. Like, all this time you're like, I'm just trying to get my 6-drop into play. And this deck's just like 15, 10, 8-drop, all at the same time. I'm so rich. Draw 7 cards.
You see what's in the top left-hand corner there?
Is that a Leyline of Sanctity?
Not quite.
It's not that one. It's the other Leyline.
Yeah.
Leyline of the Void.
That's a
Kaitlin Lindburg takes the match.
Yeah, that says, honey, I wear the pants in the relationship. It's your turn. Go ahead.
Leyline of the Void. Turn 0, and let's see what Gerry can do to get through. I mean,
no, he has an answer. No.
Oh, it's impossible. Gerry Thompson, how could you do such a thing?
Don't you care about her? Jeez.
Well,
I mean, great play by Gerry.
Yeah, takes care of the Leyline of the Void. And faithless looting from Gerry. Come on, Gerry. Why would you expect people to play Leyline of the Void against you
Some
and have
people,
answers for
some
it?
people just don't know how to turn it off. They just can't let someone else win.
Apparently it's SCG Blue. I mean, we already saw Todd do it. Now Cherry's doing it. Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Come on, SCG Blue. Where's the heart? Where's the compassion?
Maybe Kaitlin will have. I mean, Gerry's hand's pretty good, to be fair. He has a Lion's Eye Diamond. He's Faithless Looting now. He'll be able to do the Lion's Eye Diamond Faithless Looting combination again.
Right. He's actually.
Oh, Gerry had a chain of lightning. He had a chain of vapor in his hand as well. So Gerry was pretty well set up
against the Leyline.
Yeah, against the Leyline. He was actually doing pretty well against it. And here we go!
All right, we're off. And Lion's Eye Diamond lets Gerry sacrifice his hand. Flashing back, Faithless Looting, Dredge, Golgari Grave Troll, Dredge, another Grave Troll.
So we got some Narcomoeba action. Got a couple, he's got at least one bridge down there. It just looks like one. Yep.
Yeah, I only see one.
And
wait,
then,
is that one there and one up there?
Two.
So 2 bridges.
2 bridges. No therapies or anything like that, but Kaitlin's going to sack both of her lands at end of turn. And she's got to do something now. This is the turn where she has to do something because Gerry is just going to go absolutely crazy next turn with Cephalo Coliseum, probably with Cabal Therapies and everything else that Dredge can do. So the window is slightly open, Joey.
It's heroes and villains here. Gerry, if he
There's only one hero in this match.
I know, and I mean,
everyone at home, we all know who we're rooting for.
We know who we're rooting for sure.
Team Kaitlin, baby. She's just so friendly. It's hard not to root for her. She's so nice and quiet, and she just keeps to herself with her laptop. I don't want to see her lose.
All right, come on, Kaitlin. What do you got for us? Off the top, didn't quite see it. It was a magic card.
Good read. Good read. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
I try. All right, there's an island.
The slow
She
tapping of
taps
the mana. Bingo.
A little bit of the old ultra violence. I mean, I think if Gerry destroyed my my Leyline of the Void, I'd have a violent outburst as well.
I agree.
I think you actually did kind of have a violent outburst when you saw it.
I wasn't thrilled about it.
Well, yeah. It was definitely an outburst of some sort.
All right.
She hit a hypergenesis.
No, we don't know. We don't know what she has in her hand.
We don't.
We don't know how spicy it could be. But her deck list, does she have it? She doesn't have the haste guy.
Oh, is she not playing? She's not playing the Maelstrom Wanderer.
She's not playing the Maelstrom
Wanderer
Wanderer from Plane Chase.
So it's not exactly the right list. She has Akroma's Memorial. Is that not in Todd's list? I don't remember that. Akroma's Memorial. That's Chase's list. Okay, Gristlebrand, Progenitus. What you got? Okay, no, Todd was not playing Akroma's Memorial.
Okay.
So that's the major difference too that we didn't catch. For a long time, we had Todd's list and not Kaitlin's, and we assumed they were the same. So Gristlebrand. Looks like
Kaitlin's gonna dig a little deep.
I like it. I mean, Kaitlin's like, hey, thanks for the 4 cards off that Nature's Claim.
Yeah, agreed. So she's gonna take. Excuse me. She takes 7 to find some new action. Maybe she finds a few spirit guides and is able to cast. Another violent outburst. Something of that nature. Discards an Emrakul. So she's gonna have to shuffle.
Got to do the truffle shuffle here.
They're probably wondering how many times she has to shuffle because when she's discarding, she discarded Progenitus and Emrakul. They both have shuffle clauses, but it's probably just one shuffle at the same time. So.
Yeah, I mean they're all being discarded at the same time, right?
Yeah. All right, so now it's on Gerry to find himself a Blazing Archon because she's got the action in play, but Gerry gets to run rampant on his turn, so we'll see what he can do.
All right, there goes the Coliseum.
On his upkeep, he's going to bust the Coliseum.
Yeah, so here's Dredge number 1. It's a Grave Troll back into his hand. Dredge number 2, Grave Troll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that a second bridge? Or, I mean, a third bridge?
I think
was that a Thug?
Yeah, no, that's a third bridge.
It was
He's got
a third bridge.
3 of his 4 bridges, it looks like, right now.
Thug is more orangey in the artwork, I think.
And he's got himself. He's looking for a Blazing Archon, just like crazy.
Ichorids.
Yeah, Ichrid triggers on the stack. That's why he did it on his upkeep, so he'd have more black creatures to remove. Now he's going to just dredge Grave Troll for his turn.
Yeah, this is the draw for the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No Archons.
No Archons. Gerry. Every time Dredge plays, it looks like it's doing a deck tech.
Yeah, it really does. And the thing here is that Gristlebrand has lifelink, so you know it's very easy for him to just attack with his Ichorids, for example. But do you really want to give her 7 more life?
Right.
Because that's another
it's
Gristlebrand.
Just more cards.
Yeah, it's just another Gristlebrand activation.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really attack.
And he's not going to do that.
So he sacks an Ichorid, gets a billion zombies, and named something. We don't know what he named, but her hand is...
named Force?
Named Force of
so
Will.
he named Force of Will.
No Force. There's Show and Tell, there's Emrakul, there was Spirit Guide, there was another Cascade spell, didn't quite... it was Violent Outburst. Didn't quite see what else was in her hand. Or didn't commit it to memory quick enough.
At this point, you know, it's really kind of Force of Will her now.
What does he have available to Dread Return? Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and...
I mean, he can Dread Return a Golgari Grave Troll or something of its ilk, but the only card that matters for him, realistically, is Blazing Archon. Because once he gets those into play, then you know he'll be able to buy enough time, you know, do whatever he needs to do to be able to win the game. But if he doesn't have those, if he doesn't have the Archon in play, it's kind of at the mercy of what Kaitlin can do.
Yeah, Kaitlin has no way of actually hard casting Leyline of the Void, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't care about drawing. Now I'm trying to see what could she have. Okay, so he named Emrakul.
Emrakul, yep.
With the second Cabal Therapy. And we see there she has multiple Spirit Guides and the Outburst. Does she have actually 3 Spirit Guides? Could she really Hypergenesis again, you know, on the end of his turn?
Yeah, if she wanted to, but there's nothing for her.
Yeah, now there's nothing.
Yeah.
She had the Emrakul.
She could have put the Emrakul into play. That's true.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, like she could have. If I could see that correctly, it looked like she had 3 Spirit Guides. I think 2 Elvish, 1 Simian.
Which would have been enough.
To Violent Outburst into Hypergenesis in response to the Cabal Therapy, right? And then she puts Emrakul into play, and then has an Emrakul in play. She may have missed that. At least I'm understanding it.
Yeah, the way I'm understanding it, I agree with you. I think she just may have missed that one. Or maybe she was letting honey off nicely.
Maybe. That's true.
Gristlebrand's going to go a little deeper.
How many legends should I beat my boyfriend with?
That's right. Another Gristlebrand activation is going to put Gerry to 8. I foresee some attacks on Kaitlin's side, but I could be wrong because I have been wrong before. It looks like it's going to be it's going to be an Outburst.
So she may have drawn into another Emrakul anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe even the same Emrakul because it got shuffled back.
She also could have potentially drawn into, you know, Emrakul plus Chroma's Memorial. Chroma's Memorial seems really, really important. The haste right now is going to be really, really good.
Yeah. I think she just hit both Memorials. She at least hit one.
Yeah. She's flipping feverishly.
This deck is sick, though. I mean,
the
way it shuffles back the Hypergenesises back in after like Progenitus and Emrakul.
This deck has a lot of power.
Uh-oh. I mean...
Hypergenesis, hello?
Yeah,
there
really.
You are.
There it is. How many cards left there? I mean, it doesn't matter. They all go in the bottom. But it just seems like drama.
So I'll be interested to see what we put into play. One card left in the library.
So it had to be the other Hypergenesis, right?
Yeah.
Unless it was in her hand. Because she did just draw 7.
Yeah. What are we putting in there?
Oh, it's Emmy.
Spaghetti Monster.
Squidward.
Isn't there Chroma's Memorial over there? I don't feel like there is. With Hypergenesis, you can put enchantments into play, right? Yeah, so if she has a ley line?
I think it's just... actually, I know with Eureka. Wait, that's what. I'm just gonna look it up.
Oh yes, yes.
That is a Chroma's Memorial.
And a ley line, yes.
And a ley line.
I can't believe this is happening.
God.
I'm so unbiased. I almost feel bad, but I don't.
Did you say you're so unbiased?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's artifact, creature, enchantment, or land.
Spaghetti.
Okay, so
Hold on, I think she wants to think it through. Yeah, they all have vigilance. That's what I thought. Yeah, I've lost to that card before in a 2HG tournament. It's like unbeatable if it's in play.
flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, pro
black.
black.
Pro black, pro red.
Pro red.
What color are those zombies, Joey?
They look black to me.
What color are those zombies?
I mean, they're, but like, they're all flying. It doesn't matter.
She wins. Kaitlin Lindburg. Kaitlin Lindburg, bitch. Gerry Thompson.
That was the finals of. Wait, that wasn't even the
Do
finals.
you believe in miracles? Yes.
That was great. Kaitlin Lindburg over Gerry Thompson. Gerry over there with the look on his face of a man who just lost to his girlfriend. I mean,